Recall earlier how I said inside lists, we have that variable, that number 1, which was actually encapsulated in a string. So that 1 was actually a string instead of an integer. A lot of the times, we're going to receive values inside our variables that are not the same data type that we would want them to be. For example, when we receive input from a user, it doesn't matter what the input is. It's always going to be received by the computer as a string, and then it's our responsibility to convert it to the relevant data type that we want it to be. For example, when we receive a number, it's always going to be a string that will then need to be converted into an integer or a float if that's the case. Now, Python actually has a very simple way of converting variables into the right data type. We simply need to mention the name of the data that we want it to become. And then we'll open parentheses. So essentially, it's like a function. And this function receives any variable that we want to convert into the data type that we want to convert it into. Now, please note that you can't always do this successfully. If, for example, the variable age has a name inside of it, and you want to try to convert it into an integer, Python is going to throw an error at you. The professional term for converting variable types is called casting. Casting is when we convert one data type into another data type. Let's see an example over here. So first of all, we're going to create the variable age, and we're going to store inside of it the value 42. But please note that because we're using double quotes to wrap 42, we're actually going to be receiving a string over here. And when we actually print the type of age by using the type function that we learned earlier, we're going to be receiving a string over here. Now, we're going to change the value inside age, and we're going to assign it the value that we're going to receive from calling the int function that we just learned about. The int function is going to receive age as an input. So it's going to receive a string that holds the value 42, and it's going to convert it into an integer. Now, when I'm printing the type of age, I'm going to receive int as an output.